louder there, folks. Welcome to Jeremy's Qigong Guitar Adventure. I'm really excited to share this meditation with you today. I hope you enjoy it, and I really think you could benefit from it too. But besides that, we have this whole issue of what in the world is Qigong guitar?
The background music you'll be hearing during the guided meditation is an example of Qigong guitar. It's a meditation in itself that I did for you. It uses the principles of Qigong. All the map of awareness of the body that we'll be covering during the course of the guided meditation. All the concepts of Qigong that we use to understand ourselves and the connection between the body and the mind. We apply that. We apply that to music. And in that application, we can find how to better our performance. We can find how to experience the emotions that are there within the music and to express ourselves on a deeper level.
If you're interested in any of these topics, go ahead and subscribe. We'll make it worth your while. And without no further ado, here's the title sequence. Mom! Abba's doing a title sequence! This is a standing meditation, but you're invited to follow the points of awareness that we'll be highlighting in a sitting or lying down position, whatever position makes you feel comfortable. You can leave your arms hanging by your sides at first and raise them up to the universal pose position when we arrive there, or you can raise them up whenever you're ready, as you might be seeing in the images in front of you. And once we've placed our feet on the ground, parallel to each other, about shoulders width, one for the next, we turn our awareness to the breath. The breath enters the nose, travels down the body down to a point that we call the dantian. The dantian is the center of the body in so many different ways. It's about 2 inches below the belly button and 2 inches inwards in the center of the body. And with the mind's eye, with our intent, we direct the breath as it enters into the body, into it. We watch how that breath enters the dantian and expands the dantian. And as the breath exits, the dantian contracts, much like a balloon. We don't rush the breath. We don't try to slow it down. We just let it move at its own pace. The points in our body towards which we now will focus our attention are points of awareness, centers of concentration that we're looking to tune and find balance there. As we meander and wander through the body, our central concentration station will always remain here in the dantian. Just like a city has buses that travel near and far, they all come back to the central station, to the hub where they all can meet. Then transfer to the next bus or take a train out of town. We turn our attention back to the feet. The pads of the feet are almost gripping the floor. On the heel, the pad behind the toes and the ball of the foot are accepting the weight of the body and rooting the weight of the body downwards into the ground. The arch of the foot is gently raised. The muscles in our legs are engaged. They're not flexing, but they're not relaxed. They're actively accepting the weight from the body, channeling it downwards into the ground. Our bodies always naturally have some amounts of tension to them. It's not our goal to rid the body of tension, but to place that tension in the appropriate place. The legs do a much better job than the upper body of doing it. They hold the tension without impeding on the functions of the internal organs. To find that center point, that engaged feeling, that full feeling that we want in our legs, we can tune our legs, much like you tune a guitar. When you're tuning a guitar, you turn the tuning peg up, tightening the string. But if it gets too tight, then the tone is too high. And when you loosen the string, turning the tuning peg down, if you loosen the string too much, the tone is too low. We look to find that center point where the tone of the string is able to harmonize with the strings around it. We can do a similar thing with our legs, slightly tensing, slightly flexing our legs more than they need to be, and then releasing. Letting the muscles become too relaxed and then slightly activating them until we find how they can be in that center point, able to harmonize with the feet, the pads of the feet, and then upwards to the upper body where it's accepting the weight of the upper body, letting it sink downwards. The weight of the upper body begins to sink under the body, in between the legs at the center. It's as though we have a chain pulling the weight of the body down. The chain pulling down relaxes the muscles in the upper body. As soon as we let that weight sink down, should be able to feel an instant release, an instant relief in the upper body. Not just of physical stress, but of the emotional stress we carry with us from day to day. We allow that stress and tension to just sink down into our legs and root down into the ground. As we travel up to the upper body, we're starting to form a map of our body. We have a picture of our body in our minds. With that map that we have in our minds, the homunculus picture, we're strengthening the ways in which the stations, the central cities on the map are positioned, strengthening the locations and the pathways, the roads between them, finding out how flow of traffic, how positioning can allow the map we have of our body and our mind to appropriately communicate to the body what the body should be doing and how the body should be balancing itself out. As we move through these concentration stations in our body, these points of awareness will develop the conversation that we have between our body and the map we have of our body in our minds. The three main points of awareness that we have in our upper body are the dantian that we've mentioned already, where our breath is slowly entering, expanding it, and exiting it as it contracts. The second important point of concentration in our upper body is the chain that we mentioned between our legs, sinking the weight of our body down and rooting us into the ground. The third important concentration station that we have in our upper body is right at the crown of our head. And we visualize there a rope pulling up into the heavens. And as that rope pulls up, we feel our spine lengthen and stretch. Stretch against the opposite pull of the chain pulling down right at the bottom of our torso, right at the bottom of our body. And as we stretch and pull up, the upper body becomes light. Through these different points, the other smaller points on the map, the smaller cities and townships, sort themselves out in accordance with the directions and the energy flow that we set, with the chain pulling us down against the rope pulling up, and the dantian in the center expanding and contracting, expanding and contracting. The upward pull from the string above your head creates an upward motion in different parts of your upper torso. The stomach is slightly pulled up without being flexed or tensed. The in turn gives space to the dantian to expand and contract with greater awareness. The downward pull of the chain below it allows it also to have its own area in which it's able to expand and contract. The chest is neither puffed out or curled in. It finds its center point being pulled both up and down, hanging in suspension in the right place, such a way that the shoulders above are also neither curled forward or pressed back, centered right next to the chest, right next to the body, allowing the arms to hang down freely, or when it's the right time, keep the shoulders in place as the arms lift up to the universal pose position. The shoulders neither lift nor sink. They find that center point, engaged by the muscles of the chest in front, the back, the shoulder blades, the shoulders on top, and the muscles that stretch down under the armpit. All sides of the shoulder's attachment are engaged, holding it in a centered position, allowing the arms to move freely, full with energy, engaged and full. In the universal post position, you're looking at the palms of your hands. There's about an inch gap between your middle fingers. The top of your shoulders are relaxed. Your head, suspended from the string, pulls up, finds the right position for your head to hang in exactly the right place. Your chin is slightly tucked in. A smile can help relax the face. The genuine smile is found in the jaw, the bones that are there underlying the face. It's not just the edge of the lips turned up. We find how to loosen the jaw and put it in an upward motion that portrays the happiness that you feel. It can help to think of something that genuinely really makes you happy. And when you feel that happiness, let that shine through in the smile you wear on your face. The more you develop this relationship with your body, just going over the map, sparking back up this relationship, this conversation between body and mind, will be familiar and warm and exciting, and be able by itself to generate that smile that you hold towards your body. The face is relaxed and engaged. With all these points in our body, points in the map of our body are in place, we can return our focus to the breath as it enters the nose. You can feel at the tip of the nose, the tip of the nostrils, a bit of wind whooshing in as the breath enters. It travels down the center of the body and fills the dantian. We're near the rushing or slowing the breath, and the breath turns back around. And with the contraction of the dantian, it ascends to the center of the body, back out through the nose. Keeping all the points of concentration, of awareness, finely tuned throughout the body. We've looked to center that harmony back into the dantian as we breathe. The dantian expands and contracts. The guided part of this meditation is now over. You guys have been awesome. You're now invited to continue by yourself, if you will, watching the breath and tuning your body to that harmony. And I look forward to doing this with you again in the near future.